with it, fam. We moving on up.
Go back. The Quran says that the month of Ramadan is that in which the Quran was revealed. Stop right there. Now, the Quran didn't make a mistake. But we know that the Quran was not revealed in 1 month. It was revealed over a period of 23 years. So which Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan? Is there another book that is to come in the month of Ramadan? Or is it that supreme understanding of this book will be given in the month of Ramadan? All the scholars agree that something here needs to be better understood, because the Quran was not revealed in the month of Ramadan. It began in the month of Ramadan. And when that first revelation came to Muhammad, the scholars say it came in the month of December. You hear that? If you can't go the whole 30 days with us, take one. If you get by one, try two. During the daylight hours from sun up, don't put anything in your mouth. No water, no food. If you feel that you're going to be famished, get up before the sun rises. Get up at around 5:30. And if you feel like you need something, make you something then. It's permissible. But if I were you, I would need food then. I would take me a nice herbal tea, water, and juice. And when the sun or the day begins to break, stop. When it's dark again, and eat. That discipline all day long. Think about it. People going to the water cooler at work drinking, and you are just not drinking. People eating their lunch and you smell it and want it, you not eat. Even during the daylight hours, a man is not allowed to take pleasure with his wife or vice versa during the daylight hours. If you can resist, your will be stronger. And so now, as we read this Quran, we are enlightened by its beauty, the majesty of these ayats. And you would not know that unless you are reading the Quran as we are instructed to do. If you don't mind, I'd like to say something about Ramadan. This is a very sacred month, not just a month of fasting, but a month of challenging ourselves in a way that after this month, when we take the Eid prayer and feast of joy, after having struggled to complete our 30 days, it brings us to a new day, a new year of our Islam. And so I want to say to those who tried, we thank Allah for you, and you are the beneficiaries of your striving.
All right, family, what's going on? What's going on? How y'all feeling? Before we get started, family, I have to make the special announcement. Oh, you know we got to make the special announcement. We have officially moved some things over. Y'all don't mind if I show y'all, boy, just before we get started, y'all. Not just before. I'm not gonna be on it long, but I just gotta do it before, because I seen some people on YouTube saying, well, where we at? Where? Well, if y'all inside the groups we've been telling you to come on, tap into, you can get all the updates that everybody gets. So right now we got the we in a new platform, and this is what it looks like, y'all. So if y'all go to www.thepowercall.net, look, we got our own community. Look at that. Look, people already comment. Look at that right there. Boom. Then you got the classroom. Check out the classroom now. This is where all the replays is at. Look at that. Oh, we got a whole curriculum. We building out a little curriculum right now. Look at that. And then right now, if you go right back to it, here go all powerful.
Brother Ben, we can't see it.
Y'all can't even see it, can you? My bad. Thank you for that. So then you go down here, and then this is where you got all of your different interviews. So you can go down here, interview. Look at all these different interviews. Boom, boom, boom. Important interview. Then you got Brother Neary. Look at that. Oh man, Brother Wesley. Oh, and then we still adding on to it. You know what I mean? Then you got calendar. So for those who like, man, what time we getting started? Where's the link at? Guess what, y'all? It's gonna be right there under your calendar. You hit that calendar, there go the link right there. And then check this part out. Whenever we live, look, it's right here. It's gonna be right there in your face, live. When you click that, boom, there it go. There it go, y'all. And then I know y'all couldn't see this part in the beginning, but this is where. Now let me show y'all real quick the leaderboard. When you go to leaderboards, you get leveled up, right? So those who get the most points, right? You level up. And I'm going to start having prizes eventually for those who hit level 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're going to have a little something that you get, because it says you get a point, right? Now, this encourages you to be valuable and produce quality content, because the more resourceful you are, the more powerful your posts are, and the more likes and stuff you get, that's how you get points under your name. Okay, so it just encourages everybody to be valuable versus not saying anything. Okay, so that's it. That's the commercial. www.thepowercall.net. www.thepowercall.net. This way you don't miss out on anything that takes place moving forward. All right, let's get to it. Just want to make sure y'all got that. All right, Sister Alexis in here already. Let me see. Alexia. Man, if I don't stop saying Alexis. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just get started with our reading today. Brother Cam look like he's on time today. Pray be to Allah. Pray be to it. All right. For those who have the Quran. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Sorry, I don't like to belabor this, but I just got to show y'all this. Boom. Not only do you have that, but guess what? Ebooks and resources. So for those who keep saying, well, do y'all got the Quran and you had to keep scrolling up on Telegram? Not no more. Watch this. You hit ebooks, there it is. You get the Quran, boom. Ooh, it's right there in your face. Oh, it's right there with you. You know, the minister told us to get recharged genocide. Boom, there it go. There it go. Boom. There go the book. We got the whole book. Oh, y'all ain't seeing what we got in here. So yeah, that's where all the ebooks and the resources gonna be there, right there on the ebooks and resources. Okay, I just want to show y'all that just in case you didn't see that. All right, y'all see, we building that thing out. All right, here we go. We are on page 1067. We are on 1067. That means we are on Surah 58. Okay, part 28 reading for the day. All right, let me go ahead and get us started. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet you all with the greeting words of peace we said in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. All right, the pleading women. Section 1, safeguarding women's rights. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Allah indeed has heard the plea of her who pleads with thee about her husband and complains to Allah, and Allah hears the contentions of both of you. Surely Allah is hearing, seeing. Those of you who put away their wives by calling them their mothers, they are not their mothers. None are their mothers save those who gave them birth, and they utter indeed a hateful word and a lie. And surely Allah is pardoning, forgiving. And those who put away their wives by calling them their mothers, then go back on that which they said, must free a captive before they touch one another. To this you are exhorted, and Allah is aware of what you do. But he who has not the means should fast for 2 months successfully before they touch one another. And he who is unable to do so should feed 60 needy ones. That is in order that you may have faith in Allah and his messenger. And these are Allah's limits. And for the disbelievers is a painful chastisement. On the day when Allah will raise them all together, then inform them of what they did. Allah records it while they forget it, and Allah is witness over all things. Section 2. Secret counsels condemned. Seest thou not that Allah knows whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth? There is no secret counsel between three, but he is the fourth of them. Nor between five, but he is the sixth of them. Nor between less than that, nor more, but he is with them wheresoever they are. Then he will inform them of what they did on the day of resurrection. Surely Allah is knower of all things. I skip 5?
Yeah, so you skip 5.
Sorry about that. Let's go back up. Painful chastisement. Surely those who oppose Allah and his messenger will be humbled, and those who before them were humbled. And indeed, we have revealed clear messages, and for the disbelievers is an abasing chastisement. Keep going. On the day when Allah will raise them all together, then inform them of what they did. Allah records it while they forget it, and Allah is witness over all things. Section 2, the secret counsels condemned. Seest thou not that Allah knows whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth? There is no secret counsel between three, but he is the fourth of them. Nor between five, but he is the sixth of them. Nor between less than that, nor more, but he is with them wheresoever they are. Then he will inform them of what they did on the day of resurrection. Surely Allah is knower of all things. Seest thou not those who are forbidden secret counsels? Then they return to that which they are forbidden, and hold secret counsels for sin and revolt and disobedience to the messenger. And when they come to thee, they greet thee with a greeting with which Allah greets thee not, and say within themselves, why does not Allah punish us for what we say? Hell is enough for them, they will burn in it, and evil is the resort. O you who believe, when you confer together in private, give not to each other counsel of sin and revolt and disobedient to the messenger, but give to each other of goodness and observance of duty, and keep your duty to Allah, to whom you will be gathered together. Secret counsels are only of the devil, that he may cause to grieve those who believe, and he can hurt them not, except with Allah's permission. And on Allah let the believers rely. O you who believe, when it is said to you, make room in assemblies, make room, Allah will give you ample. And when it is said, rise up, Allah will exalt those of you who believe, and those who are given knowledge to high ranks, and Allah is aware of what you do. O you who believe, when you consult the messenger, offer something in charity before your consultation. That is better for you and purer. But if you have not the means, then surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Do you fear that you will not be able to give in charity before your consultation? So when you do it not, and Allah has turned to you mercifully, keep up prayer and pay the poor rate and obey Allah and his messenger, and Allah is aware of what you do. Brother King Cam.
Section 3, internal enemy to be guarded against. Hast thou not seen those who take for friends of people with whom Allah is wroth? They are neither of you nor of them, and they swear falsely while they know. Allah has prepared for them a severe chastisement. Evil indeed is which they do. They take shelter under their oaths, so they turn men from Allah's way. For them is an abasing chastisement. Of no avail against Allah will be to them their wealth or their children. They are the companions of the fire, and therein they will abide. On the day when Allah will raise them up, they will swear to him as they swear to you, and they think that they have some excuse. Now surely they are the liars. The devil has gained the mastery over them, so he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah. They are the devil's party. Now surely the devil's party are the losers. Those who oppose Allah and his messenger, they shall be among the most abased. Allah has written down, I shall certainly prevail, I and my messengers. Surely Allah is strong, mighty. Thou wilt not find a people who believe in Allah in the latter day, loving those who oppose Allah and his messenger, even though they be their fathers or their sons or their brothers or their kinsfolk. These are they into whose hearts he has impressed faith and strengthened them with a spirit from himself. And he will cause them to enter gardens wherein flow rivers, abiding therein. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with him. These are Allah's party. Now, surely it is Allah's party who is the successful. Oh, I like that. I like that. Uh, Surah 59, the banishment. Section 1, the exiled Jews. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth glorifies Allah, and he is the mighty, the wise. He it is who caused those who disbelieve of the people of the book to go forth from their homes at the first banishment. You deem not that they would go forth while they thought that their fortress would defend them against Allah. But Allah came to them from a place they expected not and cast terror into their hearts. They demolished their houses with their own hands and the hands of the believers. So take a lesson, O you who have eyes. And had it not been that Allah had decreed for them the exile, he would certainly have chastised them in this world, and for them in the hereafter is the chastisement of the fire. That is because they were opposed to Allah and his messenger. And whoever is opposed to Allah, surely Allah is severe in retribution. Whatever palm tree you cut down or leave it standing upon its roots, it is by Allah's permission, and that he may abase the transgressors. And whatever Allah restored to his messenger from them, you did not press forward against it any horse or any riding camel. But Allah gives authority to his messengers against whom he pleases. And Allah is possessor of power over all things. Whatever Allah restored to his messenger from the people of the towns, it is for Allah and for the messenger and for the near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the wayfarer, so that it be not taken by turns by the rich among you. And whatever the messenger gives you, accept it. And whatever he forbids you, abstain therefrom. And keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is severe in retribution. It is for the poor who fled, who were driven from their homes and their possessions, seeking grace of Allah and his pleasure, and helping Allah and his messenger. These it is that are the truthful. And those who made their abode in the city and in faith, before them love those who have fled to them, and find in their hearts no need of what they are given, and prefer them before themselves, though poverty may afflict them. And whoever is saved from the niggardliness of his soul, these it is that are the successful. And those who come after them say, Our Lord, forgive us and our brethren who had precedence of us in faith, and leave no spite in our hearts towards those who believe. Our Lord, surely thou art kind, merciful.
Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. Salam alaikum. Section 2, the hypocrites fail in their promise to the Jews. Hast thou not seen the hypocrites? They say to their brethren who disbelieve from among the people of the book, if you are expelled, we certainly will go forth with you, and we will never obey anyone concerning you. And if you are fought against, we will certainly help you. And Allah bears witness that they are surely liars. If they are expelled, they will not go forth with them. And if they are fought against, they will not help them. And even if they help them, they will certainly turn their backs. Then they shall not be helped. Your fear in their hearts is indeed greater than Allah's. That is because they are a people who understand not. They will not fight against you in a body, save in fortified towns or from behind walls. Their fighting between them is severe. Thou wouldst think them united, but their hearts are divided. That is because they are a people who have no sense. Like those before them shortly, they tasted the evil consequences of their conduct, and for them is a painful chastisement. Like the devil when he says to man, disbelieve. But when he disbelieves, he says, I am free of thee. Surely I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds. So the end of both of them is that they are both in the fire to abide therein. And that is the reward of the wrongdoers. Section 3, an exhortation. O you who believe, keep your duty to Allah, and let every soul consider that which he sends forth for the morrow, and keep your duty to Allah. Surely Allah is aware of what you do. And be not like those who forget Allah, so he makes them forget their own souls. These are the transgressors. Not alike the companions of the fire and the owners of the garden. The owners of the garden are achievers. Had we sent down this Quran on a mountain, thou wouldst certainly have seen it falling down, splitting asunder because of the fear of Allah. And we set forth these parables to men, that they may reflect. He is Allah, besides whom there is no God, the knower of the unseen and the seen. He is the beneficent, the merciful. He is Allah, besides whom there is no God, the King, the Holy, the author of peace, the grantor of security, guardian over all, the mighty, the supreme, the possessor of greatness. Glory be to Allah from that which they set up with him. He is Allah, the creator, the maker, the fashioner. His are the most beautiful names. Whatever is in the heavens and the earth declares his glory, and he is the mighty, the wise.
Praise be to Allah. Going into page 1081. Sister Fatima.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. Surah 60. The woman who is examined. Section 1. Friendly relations with enemies. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. O you who believe, take not my enemy and your enemy for friends. Would you offer them love while they deny the truth that has come to you, driving out the messenger and yourselves because you believe in Allah, your Lord? If you have come forth to strive in my way and to seek my pleasure, would you love them in secret? And I know what you conceal and what you manifest. And whoever of you does this, he indeed strays from the straight path. If they overcome you, they will be your enemies and will stretch forth their hands and their tongues towards you with evil. And they desire that you may disbelieve. Your relationships and your children would not profit you. On the day of resurrection, he will decide between you, and Allah is seer of what you do. Indeed, there is for you a good example in Abraham and those with him when they said to their people, we are clear of you and of that which you serve besides Allah. We disbelieve in you, and there has arisen enmity and hatred between us and you forever until you believe in Allah alone. Except Abraham saying to his sire, I would ask forgiveness for thee, and I control naught for thee from Allah. Our Lord, on thee do we rely, and to thee do we turn, and to thee is the eventual coming. Our Lord, make us not a trial for those who disbelieve, and forgive us, our Lord. Surely thou art the mighty, the wise. Certainly there is for you in them a good example for him who hopes for Allah and the last day. And whoever turns away, surely Allah is the self-sufficient, the praised. Section 2, friendly relations with non-Muslims. It may be that Allah will bring about friendship between you and those of them whom you hold as enemies. And Allah is powerful, and Allah is forgiving, merciful. Allah forbids you not respecting those who fight you, nor for religion,
Not,
nor
not,
Allah forbids you not respecting those who fight you, not okay, I couldn't see that. I'm sorry. Allah forbids you not respecting those who fight you, not for religion, not driving you forth from your homes, that you show them kindness and deal with them justly. Surely Allah loves the doers of justice. Allah forbids you only respecting those who fight for you Allah forbids you only respecting those who fight you for religion and drive you forth from your homes and help others in your expulsion, that you make friends of them. And whoever makes friends of them, these are the wrongdoers. O you who believe, when believing women come to you fleeing, examine them. And Allah knows best their faith. Then if you know them to be believers, send them not back to the disbelievers. Neither are these women lawful for them, nor are those men lawful for them, and give them what they have spent. And there is no blame on you in marrying them when you give them their dowries, and hold not to the ties of marriage of disbelieving women, and ask for what you have spent, and let them ask for what they have spent. That is Allah's judgment. He judges between you, and Allah is knowing, wise. And if any part of the dowries of your wives has passed away from you to the disbelievers, then your turn comes. Give to those whose wives have gone away the like of what they have spent, and keep your duty to Allah in whom you believe. O Prophet, when believing women come to thee, giving thee a pledge that they will not associate aught with Allah, and will not steal, nor commit adultery, nor kill their children, nor bring a calumny which they have forged of themselves, nor disobey thee in what is good, accept their pledge and ask forgiveness for them from Allah. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. O you who believe, take not for friends a people with whom Allah is wroth. They indeed despair of the hereafter, as the disbelievers despair of those in the graves. Allahu Akbar.
Sister Diabra.
Chapter 61, Al-Saf, the Ranks. Section 1, Triumph of Islam. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, whatever's in the heavens and whatever's in the earth glorifies Allah, and He is the Mighty, the Wise. O you who believe, why say you that which you do not? It is most hateful in the sight of Allah that you say that which you do not. Surely Allah loves those who fight in his way in ranks as if they were a solid wall. And when Moses said to his people, "O my people, why do you malign me when you know that I am Allah's messenger to you?" But when they deviated, Allah made their hearts deviate, and Allah guides not the transgressing people. And when Jesus, son of Mary, said, "O children of Israel, surely I am the messenger of Allah to you, verifying that which is before me of the Torah, and giving the good news of a messenger who will come after me, his name being Ahmad." But when he came to them with clear arguments, they said, "This is clear enchantment." And who is more unjust than he who forges a lie against Allah, and he is invited to Islam, and Allah guides not the unjust people. They desire to put out the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah will perfect this light through though the disbelievers may be averse. He it is who sends his messenger with the guidance and the true religion, that he may make it overcome the religions, all of them, though the polytheists may be averse. Section 2, establishment of truth need sacrifices. O you who believe, shall I lead you to a merchandise which will deliver you from a painful chastisement? You should believe in Allah and his messenger and strive hard in Allah's way with your wealth and your lives. That is better for you, did you but know. He will forgive you your sins and cause you to enter gardens wherein rivers flow, and goodly dwellings in gardens of perpetuity. That is the mighty achievement. And yet another blessing that you love, help from Allah and a victory near at hand, and give good news to the believers. O you who believe, be helpers in the cause of Allah, as Jesus, son of Mary, said to the disciples, "Who are my helpers in the cause of Allah?" The disciples said, "We are your helpers in the cause of Allah." So a party of the children of Israel believed, and another party disbelieved. Then we aided those who believed against their enemy, and they became predominant.
Yes, ma'am. Chapter 62. We are going to go to Brother Benny.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Chapter 62, the congregation. Section 1, Muslims chosen for divine favors. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Whatever's in the heavens and whatever's in the earth glorifies Allah, the King, the Holy, the Mighty, the Wise. He it is who raised among the illiterates a messenger from among themselves, who recites to them his messages and purifies them and teaches them the book and the wisdom, although they were before certainly in manifest error, and others from among them who have not yet joined them, and he is the mighty, the wise. That is Allah's grace. He grants it to whom he pleases, and Allah is the Lord of mighty grace. The likeness of those who were charged with the Torah, then they observed it not, is as the likeness of the ass carrying books. Evil is the likeness of the people who reject the messages of Allah, and Allah guides not the iniquitous people. Say, O you who are Jews, if you think that you are the favorites of Allah to the exclusion of other people, then invoke death if you are truthful. But they will never invoke it because of what their hands have sent before, and Allah is knower of the wrongdoers. Say, the death from which you flee, that will surely overtake you, then you will be sent back to the knower of the unseen and the seen, so he will inform you of what you did. Section 2, Friday prayer. O you who believe, when the call is sounded for prayer on Friday, hasten to the remembrance of Allah and leave off traffic. That is better for you if you know. But when the prayer is ended, disperse abroad in the land and seek of Allah's grace, and remember Allah much, that you may be successful. And when they see merchandise or sport, they break away to it and leave thee standing. Say, what is with Allah is better than sport and merchandise, and Allah is the best of providers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sister Shireen.
Chapter 63, The Hypocrites. Section 1, The Hypocrites. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. When the hypocrites come to thee, they say, we bear witness that thou art indeed Allah's messenger, and Allah knows thou art indeed his messenger, and Allah bears witness that the hypocrites are surely liars. They take shelter under their oaths, thus turning men from Allah's way. Surely evil is that which they do. That is because they believe, then disbelieved. Thus their hearts are sealed, so they understand not. And when thou seest them, their persons please thee. And if they speak, thou listenest to their speech. They are like pieces of wood clad with garments. They think every cry to be against them. They are the enemy, so beware of them. May Allah destroy them, how they are turned back. And when it is said to them, come to the messenger of Allah, come, the messenger of Allah will ask forgiveness for you. They turn away their heads, and thou seest them hindering others, and they are big with pride. It is alike to them whether thou ask forgiveness for them or ask not forgiveness for them. Allah will never forgive them. Surely Allah guides not the transgressing people. They it is who say, spend not on those who are with the messenger of Allah, that they may disperse. And Allah's are the treasures of the heavens and the earth, but the hypocrites understand not. They say, if we return to Medina, the mightier will surely drive out the meaner therefrom, and might belongs to Allah and his messenger and the believers, but the hypocrites know not. Section 2, an exhortation. O you who believe, let not your wealth nor your children divert you from the remembrance of Allah. And whoever does that, these are the losers. And spend out of that which we have given you before death comes to one of you, and he says, my Lord, why didst thou not respite me to a near term, so that I should have given alms and been of the doers of good deeds? But Allah respites not a soul when its term comes, and Allah is aware of what you do.
Chapter 64. Sister Gina.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak.
Madame Kareem.
Chapter 64, The Manifestation of Losses. Section 1, Disbelievers Warned. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth glorifies Allah. His is the kingdom and his the praise, and he is possessor of power over all things. He it is who created you, but one of you is disbeliever and one of you is a believer, and Allah is seer of what you do. He created the heavens and the earth with truth. He shaped you, then made godly your shapes, and to him is the resort. He knows what is in the heavens and the earth, and he knows what you hide and what you manifest, and Allah is knower of what is in the hearts. Has there not come to you the story of those who disbelieved before then, tasted the evil consequences of their conduct, and they had a painful chastisement? That is because there came to them their messengers with clear argument, but they said, shall mortals guide us? So they disbelieved and turned away, and Allah is above all need. And Allah is self-sufficient, praised. Those who disbelieve think that they will not be raised. Say, by by my Lord, you will certainly be raised. Then you will certainly be informed of what you did. And that is easy to Allah. So believe in Allah and his messenger and the light which we have revealed. And Allah is aware of what you do. The day when he will gather you for the day of gathering, that is the day of the manifestation of losses. And whoever believes in Allah and does good, he will remove from him his evil and cause him to enter gardens wherein rivers flow to abide therein forever. That is the great achievement. And those who disbelieve and reject our messages, they are the companions of the fire, abiding therein, and evil is the resort. Section 2, an exhortation. No calamity befalls but by Allah's permission. And whoever believes in Allah, he guides his heart, and Allah is the knower of all things. And obey Allah and obey the messenger. But if you turn away, the duty of our messenger is only to deliver the message clearly. Allah, there is no God but he, and on Allah let the believers rely. O you who believe, surely of your wives and your children there are enemies to you, so beware of them. And if you pardon and forbear and forgive, surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Your wealth and your children are only a trial, and Allah with him is a great reward. So keep your duty to Allah as much as you can, and hear and obey and spend. It is better for your souls. And whoever is saved from the greediness of his soul, these it is that are the successful. If you set apart for Allah's if you set apart for Allah a godly portion, he will double it for you and forgive you. And Allah is multiplier of rewards for bearing. The knower of the unseen and the seen, the mighty, the wise.
Sister Ebony.
I'm here. Sorry, 1 second.
You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Sorry, what page is it? I just closed the book by accident.
1101.
Yes, sir. Chapter 65, the divorce. Section 1, supplementary divorce rules. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. O Prophet, when you divorce women, divorce them from their prescribed period, and calculate the period and keep your duty to Allah, your Lord. Turn them not out of their houses, nor should they themselves go forth, unless they commit an open indecency. And these are the limits of Allah. And whoever goes beyond the limits of Allah, he indeed wrongs his own soul. Thou knowest not that Allah may after that bring about an event. So when they have reached their prescribed time, retain them with kindness or dismiss them with kindness, and call to witness 2 just ones from among you, and give upright testimony for Allah. With that is admonished he who believes in Allah and the latter day, and whoever keeps his duty to Allah, he ordains a way out for him, and gives him sustenance from whence he imagines not. And whoever trusts Allah, he is sufficient for him. Surely Allah attains his purpose. Allah indeed has appointed a measure for everything. And those of your women who despair of menstruation, if you have a doubt, their prescribed time is 3 months. And of those too who have not had their courses, and the pregnant women, their prescribed time is that they lay down their burden. And whoever keeps his duty to Allah, he makes his affair easy for him. That is the command of Allah, which he has revealed to you. And whoever keeps his duty to Allah, he will remove from his evils, he will remove from him his evils and give him a big reward. Lodge them where you live according to your means, and injure them not to straiten them. And if they are pregnant, spend on them until they lay down their burden. Then if they suckle for you, give them their recompense, and enjoin one another to do good. And if you disagree, another will suckle for him. Let him who has abundance spend out of his abundance, and whoever has his means of subsistence straightened to him. Let him spend out of that which Allah has given him. Allah lays not on any soul a burden beyond that which he has given it. Allah brings about ease after difficulty. Section 2. Makkah warned. And how many a town which rebelled against the commandments of its Lord and his messengers. So we called it to severe account, and we chastised it with the stern chastisement. So it tasted the evil consequences of its conduct, and the end of its affair was perdition. Allah has prepared for them severe chastisement, so keep your duty to Allah, O men of understanding who believe. Allah has indeed sent down to you a reminder, a messenger who recites to you the clear messages of Allah, so that he may bring forth those who believe and do good deeds from darkness into light. And whoever believes in Allah and does good deeds, he will cause him to enter gardens wherein rivers flow, to abide therein forever. Allah has indeed given him a godly sustenance. Allah is he who created 7 heavens, and of the earth the like thereof.
Yes, I mean, she know damn well these are damn geese.
Allah is he who created 7 heavens, and of the earth the like thereof. The command descends among them that you may know that Allah is possessor of power over all things, and that Allah encompasses all things in his knowledge.
Chapter 66, Brother David.
Assalamu alaikum. Chapter 66, Al-Tarim, the Prohibition. Section 1, Prophet's Domestic Relation. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. O Prophet, why dost thou forbid thyself that which Allah has made lawful for thee? Seekest thou to please thy wives? And Allah is forgiving, merciful. Allah indeed has sanctioned for you the expiation of your oaths. And Allah is your patron, and he is the knowing, the wise. And when the prophet confided an information to one of his wives, but when she informed others of it, and Allah informed him of it, he made known part of it and passed over part. So when he told her of it, she said, who informed thee of this? He said, the knowing, the one aware, informed me. If you both turn to Allah, then indeed your hearts are inclined to this. And if you back up one another against him, then surely Allah is his patron, and Gabriel, and the righteous believers, and the angels after that are the aiders. Maybe his Lord, if he divorce you, will give him in your place wives better than you, submissive, faithful, obedient, penitent, adorers, fasters, widows, and virgins. O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is men and stones. Over it are angels, stern and strong. They do not disobey Allah in that which he commands them, but do as they are commanded. O you who disbelieve, make no excuses this day. You are rewarded only as you did. Section 2, Progress of the Faithful. O you who believe, turn to Allah with sincere repentance. It may be your Lord will remove you from your evil and cause you to enter gardens wherein flow rivers, on the day which Allah will not abase the prophet and those who believe with him. Their light will gleam before them, and on their right hands they will say, Our Lord, make perfect for us our light and grant us protection. Surely thou art possessor of power over all things. O prophet, strive against the disbelievers and the hypocrites, and remain firm against them, and their abode is hell, and evil is the resort. Allah sets forth an example for those who disbelieve. The wife of Noah and the wife of Lot. They were both under two of our righteous servants, but they acted treacherously towards them. So they availed them not against Allah, and it was said, into the fire with those who enter. And Allah sets forth an example for those who believe. The wife of Pharaoh, when she said, my Lord, build me a house with thee in the garden and deliver me from Pharaoh and his work, and deliver me from the iniquitous people. And Mary, the daughter of Amram, who guarded her chastity. So we breathed into him of our inspiration, and she accepted the truth of the words of her Lord and his books, and she was of the obedient ones. So
Like salam. Praise be to Allah. We have completed part number 28. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We moving through this thing, y'all. We almost done. Almost done. Thank everybody who were readers today. All right. If you have anything that stands out or stood out to you, go ahead and press the number 9 at this time. Go ahead and press the number 9 at this time. While they are thinking about pressing the number 9, just a reminder to go to www.thepowercall.net so that you can join our new community. www.thepowercall.net. All right, let's go to Brother Daniel.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. What stood out to me, and I don't have the reading in front of me, but well, Allah cautions the believer to not take the disbeliever for friends, rather than the believer. Um, I'm looking at that because in this hour, who we establish relationships and keep relationships with could determine our salvation or our being set back. Um, Also, I know in this chapter, Allah talks about friendly relations with those who are non-Muslim, and that He will bring about with such persons, if He choose to, those type of relationships. I'm looking at this because I can recall what the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said in the time of what must be done, when he was talking about the believer and the hypocrite, and he actually said that the believer loved the hypocrite and the hypocrite loved the believer. And I had to think about that because I didn't understand such language. How does the believer love the hypocrite and vice versa? And I first had to go within and say, what hypocrisy within self, what secret counsels for sin and revolt within my own being am I loving? Am I keeping company with? Am I comfortable with? So I always had to go within and put that in check. Then I had to look without, and I had to realize that those shortcomings or those hypocrisies within will cause me to keep company with those who display such behavior, and I find association with such. So I always looked within and tried to check those types of things with prayer, with study, with just being more obedient and not being comfortable with that type of relations. Also look at the scripture with Noah having a treacherous wife and a son, but Pharaoh's wife believing. those things fall in line with this particular aspect because sometimes those very close to us can be treacherous. And I had to look up that word. That's a very serious thing. Treacherous people are liars. Treacherous people don't stand on a word. And Allah says in this particular reading that they desire to turn you from that which you believe. I had to come to grips with the Holy Quran is a book in which there is no doubt. It is a guide to those who keep their duty, spare not what Allah has given them, and of the hereafter they are sure. And looking at that, I had to learn, and I know trust is mentioned in this section, and I'll close out. So I have to trust in the word of Allah. I have to know that He knows better what's in the mind and heart of those whom I love. And when I'm given an instruction, I need to obey that, trust in the God and move forward regardless of my personal feelings and thoughts because I don't know better. And when the scientists wrote the Quran, they studied the thinking in the heart of the people and looked deep within. So it would be better for me to bow down if I want to be saved and have salvation and obey the dictates of Allah and His Messiahs. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Brother King Cam.
Man, this morning there was a lot of good ones this morning, brother. The first one that stood out to me was in Surah 58, verse 9. And it said, "O you who believe, when you confer together in private, give not to each other counsel of sin and revolt and disobedience to the messenger, but give to each other counsel of goodness and observance of duty. And keep your duty to Allah, to whom you will be gathered together." In verse 10, it says, "Secret counsels are only of the devil, that he may cause to grieve those who believe, and he can hurt them not except with Allah's permission, and on Allah let the believers rely." So that made me just think about, some of the things when we in private, and some of the things that we say, what is our thought processes. In verse 9 it says, "Give not to each other counsel of sin and revolt and disobedience to the messenger, but give to each other counsel of goodness and observance of duty." So it's just a reminder of what are we encouraging each other to do in private. It's one thing to encourage each other to do something in public, but what are we encouraging each other to do in private? So, we might want to go today and look through the group chat and see what we've been, encouraging each other to do. Observance of duty, staying on your deen, making sure that we continuing to strive hard in the fast, because it get rough during the fast. And, somebody might woke up late, might have, not been able to, make it through the fast, and they broke fast for whatever reason. And then you know how we do, man. You know what, man? I had something like that happen to me too. Let me go ahead and break the fast. No, we can't be doing that. We got to keep each other striving in the pathway of Allah, so that we can, stay in observance of duty and things like that. So, that was one thing that stood out to me. Then the second thing that stood out to me was in Surah 58, verse 18, all the way to 22. And it was saying that on the day that when Allah raised them all up, they will swear to Him as they swear to you. And they think that they have some excuse. Now, surely they are the liars. The devil has gained the mastery over them. So he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah. They are the devil's party. Now, surely the devil's party are the losers. Those who oppose Allah and His messenger, they shall be among the most abased. Allah has written down, "I shall certainly prevail, I and my messengers. Surely Allah is strong and mighty." So, and this lets you know that the devil is him and his party are the losers. And we know when we follow Allah and when we follow the messenger that we are gonna be successful. It goes so much so to say that Allah has written down. So that should remove all ideas of thinking that we got some type of spirit that's just moving, some type of formless spook that's moving. It says that Allah has written down, "I certainly prevail. I shall certainly prevail." I and my messengers. Surely Allah is strong and mighty. Allah writes, He writes this stuff down that He's gonna prevail against the devil. And it says, Thou wilt not find a people who believe in Allah in the latter day, loving those who oppose Allah and His messenger, and even though they may be their fathers or their sons or their brothers or their kinsfolk. And I thought that was important because it tied into how the section ended when it talked about Noah's wife and Lot's wife and Pharaoh's wife and Mary. And I don't know about y'all, but it was new to me. I didn't know that Noah's wife had turned away. I didn't know that. I knew about his son, but I didn't know that Noah's wife had turned away, and that Pharaoh's wife was one who actually who submitted and asked to be delivered from Pharaoh. So that is eye opening. And in this, it says that thou will not find people who believe in Allah in the latter day, loving those who oppose Allah and His messenger, even if it's their fathers or their sons or their brothers or their kinsfolk. So we got to get ready to lock in. We got to be 10 toes down on the propaganda attack that's about to come against us right now. These are they into whose hearts He has impressed faith and strengthened them with the Spirit from Himself, and He will cause them to enter gardens wherein flow rivers, abiding therein. Allah is well pleased with them, and they are well pleased with Him. These are Allah's party. Now, surely it is Allah's party who are the successful. So Allah has already written it down that His party is going to be successful, Him and His messengers. So we already know this. So it has to take somebody who really has allowed the devil to master them to bring you over to Satan's party for you to be of the losers. So that is really the two that stood out to me the most, because those really are helping us in today's time, and for us to really make a decision on where we want to go or where we want to be. So assalamu alaikum.
Woo! Wa alaikum salam. A. Rashid.
Assalamu alaikum. I just had a clarifying question for anybody in the group that could answer this, but it kind of pertained to hypocrisy. Sister Shireen read on that section, as well as I think Brother Khalil as well. But it's really about like how do we leverage like the entertainment that's found in this, like within America, like what we see on TV, like films and like TV shows and music as well. Like, how do you leverage that with also like keeping your duty and like with the remembrance of Allah? Because at the same time, it's almost like a contradiction in a way where you're like, okay, well, I want to entertain myself, I want to go to this concert, I want to do this, but sometimes some of the messages that's being displayed there or conversed about or song about, whatever, is not really in accordance. So how do we leverage that as Muslims? And I think Brother Daniel kind of answered it with like prayer and like stuff like that. But I just want to like just hear from like people who have been like practicing for a long time, and just how do we leverage that like just being in this country. So assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Well, others can answer as they go, but how I would answer that is, we are able to do whatever as long as it does not go against our religion. Long as it doesn't compromise our religion, we can enjoy life. Now, as it pertains to, there's going to be messages like as we turn on the radio and we hear songs that obviously ain't talking about Allah and His messenger and bringing people to righteousness. The scripture says it's not what goes in a man that defiles him. It's what comes out. Now, we would like to say, growing up, Christian wise, we gonna justify eating that pork now. Oh, see, look at what it says there. It ain't what goes in the man that defiles him. Oh, I can eat that good old bacon and that pig in a blanket now. It's what comes out of you. But the minister gave clarity as I found in the video. And this is about us not allowing us to be defiled by the world or the messengers that may go in through our ears. We may hear some things, we may see some things. But as long as that it doesn't start to change who we are, and though in that rap lyric or that message starts to defile me and comes out of me, and now I'm acting other than myself, as long as it don't do that, I think that we are pretty much fine. So that would be my thoughts, because obviously, we're gonna go to the movies, we got TV shows, we're gonna enjoy ourselves, and but also check our intentions too. Now, if you going somewhere and you know good and well that was a strip club, you talking about, well, I didn't know naked women was gonna be okay. Yeah, now you putting yourself in a position now. You know what I mean? Now that's the deceptive intelligence kicking in. But if you're just literally just trying to enjoy and have a little entertainment, wind down, as long as it doesn't go against your religion, you're fine. As long as you don't allow whatever happens to happen, because we can't always control the environment. We can't always control the messages. We can't always control the music. As long as we don't let it come out, then I believe that's saying that we aren't defiled. But that's my thoughts. Let's go to Brother John.
Yes, sir, Brother Ben. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Great point that you just made. Great spirit in the reading this morning. Just real quick, for that brother's question, I'm reminded that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, oftentimes you would see him at a concert. We would see him at a hip-hop concert. We follow his way. The teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad acts as a placenta for us. The placenta allows the baby to take the nutrients of the mother, but not the garbage of the mother. And so when we are filled with the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it acts as a filter. It acts as a screening so that we can take in that which is good. A few months ago, I'm very close with one of the rappers, Rakim Allah, the God MC, and sometimes he'll invite us, we'll go to a show, and we'll be backstage, we'll kick it with him. We watch the show. After it's over, when things about to get heated, he always he look at me and the brothers look. I'm like, brother, love y'all, man, but we out. Because here come the weed and everything else. We bounce because we want to, again, we don't, as Denzel said, when he used to go to those Hollywood parties, he told a brother, leave 30 minutes early. Get out of there. Because at certain times, them P. Diddy parties, things get hot. So Denzel will go, but he'll leave early. So, brother, just know your limit. Any believer, know your limit. And as Brother Ben said, enjoy yourself, but we have a teaching that can screen us, and we got to know how to get out of there when it's time. The verse that caught me tonight, beloved, was Surah 60, verse 10. O you who believe, when believing women come to you fleeing, examine them. Allah knows best their faith. Then if you know them to be believers, send them not back to the disbelief. And I'm reminded, brother, one day we were soldiering with the final call. We met a sister at her apartment door who was in an abusive relationship. We didn't know at the time. We invited her out to the mosque. She joined. She went through orientation. She got her ex. And her residing caused tension between her and her abusive boyfriend. Once we saw that she was a believer, and that information came to us, it was my responsibility as the sister who fished her in. No, sis, you MGT now. So when we got that information, we stepped to the brother and said, brother, listen, first of all, she's not your wife. If you put your hands on again, you and I will have a problem. So not only did I step to him, we got the sister out of the situation, and she moved in with my sister who was an MGT, and that sister is still an MGT today. When we fish people in, we have a responsibility for them. If they flee, the Quran says, examine them. And if you know them to be believers, send them not back to the believers. Because some of us, we have guests come in, they join, we brought them in. Allah used you to bring them in. Now they having difficulties and you just going to tell them, oh, praise is due to Allah, it's still going to work out. Nah, Allah going to work through you. If he used you to get them out the mud, you have a responsibility to help. And last but not least, what stood out to me, Brother Ben, in Surah 64, O you who believe, surely your wives and your children, they are enemies to you. So be aware of them. And if you pardon and forbear and forgive, surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Your wealth and your children are only a trial, and Allah, with him, is a great reward. Family, we have to really be careful when we take gods besides Allah. Sometimes that God can be our spouse, it can be wealth, it can be our children. The Quran says those are trials for us. Man, I live for my babies, I do anything. We got to be careful, because if we make our children a God beside God, if we make wealth a God beside God, if we make our wives a God beside God, he's a jealous God, he will remove them from us. And so Surah 63 says, oh, you believe, let not your wealth nor your children divert you from the remembrance of Allah. Brother John, I'm going to keep it real, man. I got to work, man. Everything's real. I need money, so I'm not going to be at the mosque. Okay, but I get all that. But man, my children, man, I get that. But that shouldn't divert you from the remembrance of Allah. So I've learned over the years, beloved, don't make your children, nor your spouse, nor your money a God beside God, because whatever you worship, God will take it from you to force us to know that there's only one God for him. Thank you, Brother Ben. Love y'all, family. Ramadan Mubarak.
Praise be to Allah. All right, y'all. Y'all know the clip God had to go ahead and come into effect. And I had to go find it. Here we go. Let's hear it so the brother can get the answer directly from the minister.
By the help of Allah, I have to keep going. Suffering is decreed by God for your advancement. I'm almost finished. Have you ever read this scripture in the Bible? It's not what goes in that defiles a man, but it's what comes out. I thought on that scripture and I said, wow, I think I understand what it means. In our life, we are all confronted with circumstances. There's a sister, maybe she's here today, whose little boy was alive, maybe last week this time. Or 8 days or 10 days ago. Now the little boy is dead. Dead because of a candy bar or some little silly incident with teenage love, a head beaten in with a baseball bat. God teaches lessons through suffering. And I say all of that to say this, that how you take it is what defiles you. Not the act of death, because we are all born to die. We knew that. We just don't know when, in what manner, or in what place, but we know that the evil accident of time will take place on all of us. So death is a foregone conclusion, and the only way you can miss it is never to have come to life. But since we have come to life, then death must come to us all. Okay? Now, when death comes, how do you handle it? That defiles you. Because it's the circumstance that went in, what was the response that came out?
Come on now.
Do you hear what I'm saying? How do you respond to the evil circumstances of your life, to the trying circumstances of your life? How do you handle it? See? Because there's not one of you here, young or old, that will not go through trying circumstances in your life, circumstances that will bring out of you either the best or the worst. Now, the circumstances is what goes in to your brain, and what comes out of your mouth as a result of what went into your brain is either that which honors you or defiles you. Can you see what I'm saying? I wonder, is that clear?
Praise be to Allah. Man, that's so crazy. Man, I done edited so many videos. Whenever somebody talking, I'm just thinking the clips I'm just computing clips. Praise be to Allah though, man. So hopefully that gives you a better answer and further context to the concern that you had. Let's see here. Sister Ebony said, is this supposed to be compared to willingly listening to trash music and entertainment? I don't know. Pray to Allah and see if he gives you an answer. But I'ma still listen to that Boosie though. Say, man, I'm trying to come to the power call, man, and get my study on, man. So yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you yes and I can't tell you no. So I'm not even gonna answer that one. Brother Remus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boy, y'all got me fired up today, Brother John. Brother Clip Guy, man. Hey, let me start right there. Brother Ben just said computing clips is what he thinks with. When I came in the nation a million years ago, brother told me, he said, brother, if you haven't heard 300 of the minister's lectures, you're not even acclimated yet when it came to processing class. And thank God there was a brother that was selling bootleg. It wasn't DVDs, wasn't CDs now. Like I said, it was dinosaur age. It was VHS tapes. And he would rent them for $1. You know, I'd go ahead and shoot, man, here go 20. I'm going to need. I'm feeding off of that when I'm coming in, processing out there, soldiering every day with the brothers in LA. And, but now Brother Ben can download those clips. Do you know how much a blessing it is? You know, people memorize the Quran. Many of us doing our first Ramadan, right? I had an idea. I haven't thrown it away yet, but I haven't mastered it yet either. But like, if you could memorize the Quran, like you could download, you know, brother John, you could download that part when you need it in life. You're seeing what you're dealing with, and the Quran says, "Say, whoop, whoop, whoop. Say." You know, when they say this, oh, and what was I supposed to say again? But if you don't have that information in your head, Sister Ebony, it's not as much as we talk about, okay, you got to hear Brother Bootsy, and you're going to bump into our people. You know, our people are going to be coming. They're going to be coming ranging in ranks in the days to come. You got to understand, when that help come, that's Surah 110, we're going to get there in a couple of days. But when they come in, you better have some clips, Brother Ben, to download to know what to say and do. You better exalt the praises of your Lord, because man, to be in the Final Four and you're not ready, the world is watching. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready in this hour. Like, so not having the data in, garbage out, good stuff in, good stuff can come out. So we're made to filter through nonsense. You know, we got kidneys and livers and immune system, but somebody told me that your body is like an engine, and, you know, 100,000 miles on a car, hey, you put a lot of miles on that car, that thing starts to wear out if you don't take in the right stuff. And that might have 200,000, 300,000 miles. So what you take in matters, because your body has to process it. But what's so beautiful about this book, this glorious Quran, it's a guide for those of us that in our nature is to submit to do Allah's will. That's my paraphrasing. It's definitely not that way in the Quran. But that's just the way it processes through me, Brother Ben. And so computing clips, and that's just a very powerful thing. Man, how do you handle death, evil circumstances, bring out either the best or the worst? You know, this time we're living in, you know, I was blessed to be in the clubhouse with Brother Ben, some soldiers showed up with King Cam, Khan the Don, and it was like, okay. Because sometimes you can be in environments where it's just you, and people talk different. I've noticed when you're the only one standing on truth, whether it be family members, friends, community, different places. The real test is how do you handle when it's just you? Because it's easy to be, at Savior's Day, brother Ben. It's easy to be a Muslim at Savior's Day because everything around is like being in Mecca. I would imagine for the Muslims, right? It's when you're doing the Hajj, well, man, that peer pressure. Oh, you're gonna fall in. Trust and believe. I tell people all the time. I've been telling us, brother, you might not talk like that when you come to the mosque. You might not bring all that heat when you come around the believers. Oh man, you don't. I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you that there's a different spirit when you're around the energy of believers. And like the minister, those that's been around, and I'm sure can bear witness to that. When you're around the minister, brother, woo, you it's like bumping into a force field if you bring a negative, but if you're on the right page, oh man, you got nothing but love coming. But you understand, like being around believers in the community is like when Nipsey, we all the Muslim sisters showed up, all the family, MGT. Or I'm sure they saw 1,000 angels, 10,000 angels coming down the street, and then white over there, Crenshaw Slauson, and all the brothers was there, and the minister came through, and we was at the memorial. It's a different spirit because all these people have fed off of. They have fed off of these words. If you don't, faith comes by hearing. If you've never heard the right words, trust me, you won't have faith in it. And that to me is a scary thing about our people right now, the hour that we're in. When you throw away God completely, when you throw away religion completely, because Christianity was so bad, so many lies, so much BS, so many Santa Clauses, so many Easter bunnies, mixed in with this righteous conversation, our righteous brother Jesus, and you got to filter through all that. You say, you know what? Like we were taught in our teachings and Message to the Black Man, the Muslim program. You just want to throw away the whole book. It's a poison book because it's what part of what's the prophecy? What's the history? Is it the slave master just trying to get me to bow down to him or Allah? Are you trying to get me to bow down to you? Yeah, it's like, let me just start all the way over. That's what I think our youth are saying today. You know what? Look, all you old heads, you guys ain't did nothing. I think about the Joshua generation. You know what? Y'all can just look, it ain't work. Whatever y'all did, it didn't work. They rushed to this judgment. They don't understand this journey. They don't understand the strength of those individuals that's been holding it down. And it can get really confusing. So we have to have that patient understanding about that fact. I took, man, the note I wanted to be sure to expound upon because from Brother Cam, you all the way down, there was a lot that was said. But how do we leverage it? Brother asked the question early on. I've been in some notes. To me, it's about balance. Being in LA, you get a chance to do security. You might get around Michael Jackson and them. You might get around the Lakers, Hollywood, like Brother John on the East Coast. I mean, wherever you at, Atlanta, you're going to bump into some people with money and around P. Diddy or Hollywood or Mr. Weinstein or whoever, you know what I'm saying? Epstein. You're going to be around some money and some situations, and you better have a foundation in you for because to me, it's that balance. How do you leverage? To me, Brother Ben, I mean, hey, I could be a lot of places we all could every morning. But I know what I'm looking at with this Power Call platform and this whole new 2.0 BWO, because we're looking at how do you use social media for your advantage, but don't get caught in what you could get caught in social media. You see, it's like the cup. This cup got some coffee in it, before the sun comes up. I'm drinking a little bit. And so, but I could put some poison in there, in the cup. I could put some bleach in there, and this thing would kill me. Not the cup, but what's in it. I could mess around and think, okay, I'm gonna just get rid of all cups. Well, it wasn't really the cup. It was what was in the cup that jacked me up. You see what I'm saying? So that goes back to the social media. Yeah, there's a lot of junk out there. But if you can't weather the junk, because the second you leave social media, leave your house, leave whatever, you're going to bump into real people that's got real stuff. So to some extent, you kind of got to be inoculated against the drama. you gotta kind of have some degree of, okay, like Brother John said, okay, hey man, I gotta go. It's 1 o'clock, whatever time. He didn't say that, but hey, y'all getting into a whole different thing. The award show is over, this and that. I'm going to the house now. Y'all be good. I pray that y'all bless you. You know, if you're still alive tomorrow morning, call me, because all that filthiness that you're doing, hey, no compulsion in Islam. I gotta get away and do some other things. You know, so it's a real thing. I'd rather put in there, yeah, you can't be too holy. It's not in, yeah, and that's exactly right. You got to be able to get your people, our people, because that's our sole purpose as those of us in the nation. So bring my note real quick. Not allow us to be defiled. Yeah, need and not get dirty. I mean, in the mud. We're taught, most of Elijah Muhammad got in the mud to push our people up out the mud, but also he didn't get dirty. Now you got to know something. Now you're gonna get in the mud with the people, but you can't get dirty. You see, so it's like this Quranic talk. It's like the Bible talk. It's like there's some parables and there's some similitudes, and there's some wisdom in there that you have to figure out how to be in this world but not of this world is another way that it comes to mind. But the minister going to 3-on-3. I've seen him with the 3-on-3 with Ice Cube. You know, Ice Cube, be out there, NWA and the whole nine, but it's the love for your people. But it did him and his family and those that was with him, then they leave. And so, but there's a point of being involved. You got to be in tune with what time it is. And that's what it is with the social media and this kind of thing. I love what Brother John said about the placenta, man. I went to biology class when he said that just now. Allows the mother to take the nutrients, but I put down not the waste. Man, so in this hour, and I want to end on this. I'm so grateful I was the one that Allah chose out of my family. I got a big family, mostly on my mom's side, dad's side too. My mom got 10 brothers and sisters. You talk about a lot of cousins, and when you're the only one called to Islam at first, you're the only. I was born and raised Catholic now, but I had a stepfather that was a Baptist preacher. My daddy raised Seventh-day Adventist. I've been around this word, traveled around the world. I've been to other countries and different religions, but I think a lot that I was called into the nation because this fine tuning, the study guides, my goodness, y'all. Man, if it ain't for these study guides and Brother Nuri, if it ain't for these books, bro, there's a lot of information in libraries, but none of that is in there. None of that. And so I'm so grateful and thankful because when you're the first one standing, you got to find the other beloved one. Shout out to Brother Captain Shaheed. You got to find the individuals that standing on this new truth that I didn't have. How do you do this nation thing? How do you do this Allah thing? How do you do this? How do you do it? Because they do it different in the Middle East. Then you're going to do it getting through LA, Chicago, New York, wherever you live, Houston, Dallas. And so the children, the wealth, man, your parents, they attest. Is what Allah just said right here. And as we get closer to the end of the Quran, you start to see a lot of different sections. We cover a lot in a short period of time, especially from day one on the last few weeks. All of that is processing now. And you got to make decisions. I got to make decisions today, tomorrow, after Ramadan is over. We got to keep it pushing. And so what we stand on. And it can feel lonely, but with this, it makes it that much easier because when you're standing with others that are on that page, oh, it's necessary. Oh, it's very, very necessary. And a lot of our people, they fighting to survive. They just don't know. And we have to remember that, like Brother King Cam said in the notes, he said, it's not holier than thou. It's not holier than thou, but we have to really love our people and exhort them to truth, exhort them to patience and righteousness, and let them see the example in us as I pass the mic. All right, Clip God, back to you.
Yes, sir. Brother Waddell.
Assalamu alaikum.
You ready?
I just want to share something. First of all, I just wanted to say, I just want to thank you, Brother Ben X, for the power call and all the great and wonderful testimonies. I've been learning a lot from Brother Remus, Antone, King Cam, Sister Serene. Like, I thank all of you for the knowledge that y'all have given me. Like, I'm 20 years old and I've been striving to keep the Ramadan fast, and I've been doing well. But I thank you, and I just wanted to share something from the Holy Quran.
Praise be to Allah.
Chapter 60, verse 1. It says, if they overcome you, they will be your enemies and will stretch forth their hands and their tongues towards you. We cannot follow or be in the company of they that deny the truth from the messenger.
You there?
Yeah, I read the wrong thing. My bad. If they overcome you, chapter 60, verse 2, if they overcome you, they would be your enemies, and they would stretch forth their hands and their tongues towards you with evil. And they desire that you may disbelieve. What I got from this verse, it says, what I got from it, we can't serve two masters. We got to hate one and love the other. Jesus said that we must hate our own lives for his sake, meaning a rebellious, sinful life that is going to lead to our spiritual and physical death. I also learned that from this verse, what I got, if your enemy finds out any weaknesses that they could overcome, they will attack you with their hands and their tongues with evil so that you may disbelieve. And there was another part of the Holy Quran that stood out, chapter 58, verse 16. It says, they take shelters under their oath. Many people take shelters under their oaths, but they're liars. Like, I could bear witness to this personally. Like, in my life, family members and friends, they only say it, like, commit their oath or say something to get a benefit or to get a favor. But I remember in the Holy Quran, it also said if it was a near gain or a short journey, they would be willing to follow you or support you. The minister said that we must keep our word, and our word must be bond, and bond is life. And I will give my life before my word shall fail. So this verse stood out to me because it's talking about we gotta to keep our word, not just saying oaths just to get a favor or just to be a part of something, but our heart is not really accepting what we're saying out of our mouths. Like our heart has to be in agreement with what we say, not just saying things just to say it. And that's all I wanted to share. Thank you, Brother Ben. Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Lake Salam. Praise be to Allah. Brother Anthony.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak family. So what comes to mind, and again, following up on everybody, this is a whole lot. And I found it quite interesting. Brother Remus described himself as a dinosaur. So I was like, well, what does that make me? Because I think I'm slightly before you, Brother Remus. And going back to the early 90s, Allah blessed me to be in the presence and be around many situations. So, for example, I was there when the minister first started staying at the hotel owned by the Church of Scientology, because no other hotel would allow him to stay when he came in LA. And so there's just so many things that that again you get privileged to see. So I've always been able to see how he has maneuvered around others and enemies and how he treated them. And so that brings me to Surah 61, the ranks, ayat 5 and 6. And when Moses said to his people, "Oh, my people, why do you malign me?" Well, one of the things that came from the whole connection with Scientology is word definitions. And so many of us know words that we just use them and we kind of know what they mean, but we don't really know what they mean. And so I try to, as much as I can, have my dictionary and the Quran open together so that I can, oh, I don't know that word. I really don't know that word. And then look it up and try to get clear understanding, clear information on that. You know, so for example, malign, what does malign mean? Should look it up and see. And then it goes on and it says, but when they deviate, Allah made their hearts deviate, period. And then it starts another statement, and Allah guides not the transgressing people. Well, what's the transgression? And when Jesus, son of Mary, said, O children of Israel, surely I am the messenger of Allah to you, verifying that which came before me of the Torah and giving you the good news and the messengers and who will come after me. His name being Ahmad or Ahmad. So we have all of these examples and things that are, you know, that are just given to us. But it's up to us to kind of really break them down. And like you said, Brother Ben, earlier, finding that balance and being able to navigate through many of these things that come before us, because everything's not just going to be black and white. There's going to be some areas where you have to be able to guide. And that's one of the things that, at least to my understanding, Allah's put in me, that, you know, with the supreme wisdom and the problem book, is it forces you to think about how to solve problems and navigate through different situations, and everything just can't be spelled out to us. Again, it was so much. The conversations here we could take on, you know, we'd have to do it, Brother Ben, we'd have to make a power call CNN, 24 hours, just where you can come in, because it's so much and so powerful that we can just keep, you know, again, building back and forth off of each other and growing. So that was just what stood out to me today, is, again, just understanding the words, looking at where those periods are, and is it a continual sentence or a paragraph, or is it then kind of shifts? Because the Quran does jump a lot of, you know, pronouns, and you got to kind of follow the path. Like, who was he talking about? How was it talking about? And just continue, you know, again, to study. And that's it. Thank you. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem. One of the things that stood out for me is the part that says your wives and your children, they are enemies to you. So beware of them. And if you pardon and forbear and forgive, surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. Then it says your wealth and your children are only a trial. And Allah, with him, is a great reward. So keep your duty to Allah as much as you can. Now, when I hear that, what comes to mind is that, I think I've said this before, and I got to find a video because I think that was a pretty good video. I was talking about how doing something good, for lack of better words, can be a distraction. Because in your mind, you're not doing nothing wrong. I'm not robbing nobody. I'm not doing anything against my religion. However, this could be taking me away from that which God wants me to actually be doing or actually be focusing on. And this also is telling me that your wives and your children, based on what this is saying, and your wealth isn't necessarily a part of the remembrance of Allah. That don't mean go be a bad husband. That doesn't mean go be a non-mindful husband. But if it's separating the two, then we can't use the fact that, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing this for my family, or I must be I'm doing the duty. Yeah, that's a part of your duty, of course. But don't let that, your children and the upkeep of this, take you away from your duty to Allah, though. Those are your children. Those are your responsibility. But don't let that, don't say, oh, I'm doing my duty for Allah just because you're taking care as a man, or you're taking care as a mother and a wife or a husband. We still have, and they can become an enemy or take us away, seems like, from Allah if we are not mindful of that. Even our wealth, yeah, he says he is one of his greatest desires for us to have luxury and money. However, don't let that take you away from the remembrance of Allah. Don't let that keep us from our duty to Allah. Because it says with him is a great reward. So what's closer to you? What sees you more? Who do you interact with more than your wife and your children? And shoot, that money that's in your bank account. So man, the fact that that can become an enemy, and they are a trial. So yes, they are a blessing. It's a blessing now. But also a trial, and we have to keep balance and not get so unbalanced in that which is so close to us. That's that which we should take care of, that which we should give time to, that which we should be mindful of. However, this is saying, but it can be an enemy to you, and potentially, I'm saying, take you away from your duty to Allah. So you have a duty to them, but don't let your duty to your people, don't let your duty to your role as a man keep you from your duty to Allah himself. Yeah. All right, let's go to let's see who's next. Yeah, the struggle for balance. Yeah, my goodness. Whew. Unbalanced X. Let's go to Sister Brianna.
Assalamualaikum, fine folk, Ramadan Mubarak. How y'all doing? Oh, you know what? Let me go to my notes because my mind just be shooting. So, amazing call as always. Thank you, Brother Ben, for starting this. So, when the reading was happening, and also when Brother King Cam was talking, it made me think about how when we accept Islam, we in a way give people permission to put us back on the straight path. That if they see us die a virgin, they could be like, whoa, sister, whoa, brother, come back in. That doesn't mean like be the Muslim police, right? But help your sister, help your brother. And me personally, what I do, just like I was just speaking to a sister in processing class Friday night. And she was talking about her time, and she didn't ask for it, but I told her something that I struggled with when I first came in, because it helps everyone coming in see that we aren't perfect either, right? We did not just drop from the sky. The minister is very open about some of his downfalls, so that we know that he didn't come straight from the heavens as well, right? He came from the streets just like us. So the more we can tell our people and relate to them, the easier it'll be for them, because they're like, wow, this sister overcame that. This brother overcame that. He did what? And he, you know what I mean? He did what? And now that's you. Like, it helped them, right? And when the brother asked about like the music and all of that, the first thing that popped in my head was Brother Nuri was doing an interview, and he said that he's not listening to anything that does not fit his purpose. I'm paraphrasing, right? But he turned on the radio. He said he heard secret lovers. That's what we are. He said, well, I'm mystery. No, that does not compute to what I'm trying to do, right? And we do have control over what goes in, right? because the teachings isn't everything. So that's not saying completely take everything quote unquote negative out of your life, but filter it, right? There's some good. Did you notice that R&B? There was a lot of breaking cars. There's a lot of headlights gone. Like I noticed that a couple months ago. You know, I still throw those songs on, but then I also replace, right? Like Usher's Bad Girl. Ooh, that was a bad song, right? But I had to stop listening to it. I'm not trying to be a bad girl. I'm trying to be a good girl, right? So I had to switch it. I had to take away that and then put in something new. And even when it comes to my YouTube Premium, then I'm almost done. When it comes to YouTube Premium, like I listen to a lot of lectures or like a lot of interviews and stuff, and I don't want to be programmed personally. And everything counts. Like we think, oh, it's only a minute here, oh, it's only 2 minutes here, but you're listening to a 3-hour lecture, you're getting 10, 20 minutes of things that you don't even care about, things that you don't want in you. And that does have an effect on us, right? Because we are sponges. No matter, you know, just like, what's that called? A metal detector. It doesn't only pick up money. It picks up screws, right? It picks up staples. It's picking up other stuff. And that is how we are, right? But yes, that's always something to work on. And then, wait, read my notes. I have one more thing. Oh, the last thing is when it comes to what Allah thinks, sometimes I don't think about, will he be mad in this? I think, will he be disappointed in me for doing this? And that helps me stay on the straight path, because I would rather male be mad at me, men, right? Women, like just male men be mad at me than Allah be mad, but furthermore be disappointed in me. So hope that helps somebody. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. What was I about to say? Goodness gracious. Let me see if I can find it. Booker T. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I wanted to point out something for us if we missed it, man. Look at what Allah said. He said, and whoever keeps his duty to him, he makes his affair easy for him. Oh, there it is. How many of us want our affair to be made easy? I love these type of calls. I mean, it's just so simple. You do this, you get this. You stay away from this, you get this. You do this wrong, this is your consequence. So I like pointing them, man, listen, oh, man, we need our affairs made easy, man. We going through stress. Man, we going through hell sometimes, man. And if we want him to ease that affair, keep our duty. Now watch this, y'all. How many of y'all got some evils in here? Press it number 1. Now I'm just playing. Don't press number 1. But I know we all got some evil now, so you ain't got to press number 1 anyway. But how many of us got some evils, though, that we want to get removed, though? Oh, boy, you ever wanted to get something removed off your credit, man? Damn, I ain't pay that back. Y'all, I need some credit with Pearl. You ever got a ticket? I had a plug. Now I don't even think I should say this lie. Man, I'm just gonna say I had a little plug, man. You get a little ticket, brother. I can call him up over the brother past coach. You can call him and get it off your record. You ever wanted something off your record? Huh? You ever did something so wrong? You say, man, I just wish I could just erase this here. Look at this right here, y'all. This is ayat 5 now. This is the command of Allah, which he has revealed to you. And whoever keeps his duty to Allah, he will remove from him his evils and give him a big reward. Wow, look at that. Woo! Come on, brother Antone. We got some stuff we done did back in the day. No, don't say back in the day. We got some stuff we just did yesterday, boy, that we need to get removed, man. Last week we did something, man, that we need to get removed. Oh, he's giving us you ever watch one of them games and they give you one of them, hey, you got 3, okay, you can make a phone call, okay, I can give you a hint. Oh, you see how the games, they give you a little out card? Hey, here go your help now. Allah is saying, Yo get out card here is keep your duty to me, and I will remove his evils and give him a big reward. Now I'm glad. See, I'm so glad that Allah is Allah, and some of us ain't the supreme being, because we don't do that. Oh, we don't do that. We gonna keep count. We gonna keep something, all right. We gonna keep count. We ain't gonna remove nobody evil. They start doing their reward. Okay, yeah, he doing good, she doing good, but I ain't gonna remove it though. I still remember what you did to me. Yeah, and I'm gonna bring it up every time. Now, Allah saying I'm gonna remove his evils and give him a big reward. Praise be to Allah. So, man, I just want to give y'all, just a little nudge, because I know some of us want our affairs ease. Oh, man, we going through it now. You want some of that affair? If you want him to make that affair easy, and if you want some of that evil removed, all we have to do here is keep our duty to Allah. There it is. Woo, ain't that good? Man, it's so good to know we got a merciful God that gives us a way out. Man, it's so good that we got a merciful God that tells us, you know what? I know you. I know, boy. I know what you done been through. Oh, I know what you done did, sister. But if you just do this right here, you know what? I'll go ahead and remove that. I'll go ahead and control, alt, and delete that. Man, that's so beautiful. Let's go to the next call. I mean, not the next caller. See, you brother got me thinking this is a 24/7 show already. Who we got up next, Sister Randisha? I done lost count.
It's Sister Shireen, brother.
Sister Shireen, there it is.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Kareem.
I got to come after the hallelujah portion of the show. Right? Oh my gosh, brother, when he asked that question about how do you leverage the world and now, and Sister Brianna, I was right there with you with them beats in the music with like Usher, that song. Oh my gosh, that as soon as you hear it, you're like, whoa. But we got to remember that our music has been weaponized against us. And so, there's things in the frequency in the music. We can't even hear what some of them waves are that they're, infusing in the good beats and the music, So we have to be careful about how much of it that we take in, because we're literally allowing it into our soul, into our being. We literally say, I felt that in my soul. You know what I mean? So if you feel it in your soul, then it's affecting your soul. And so if you keep listening to a song, one of them Beyonce songs or something that has a hook, that after a few times and you saying it, and now all of a sudden you look at your husband and say, you must not know about me, and then things could go left. So we got to be careful about it. And then think about the music and who's presenting it to us. Years ago, there were music groups. And then all of a sudden, now there's just a bunch of solo artists, and all the groups. Why did they break up? Over money. Who put somebody with Satan whispered in somebody's ear and told them, you need to be solo. You better than them. You know what I mean? And then you see this big breakup, and then there's so much hurt and pain from the people that got left behind. And now you see these stories, the behind the scenes stories. People were broke and people got homeless, and one person, was put out front to be the star of the group. And so now we don't have any groups in our music. But now all of a sudden, this K-pop music that all of the children are listening to, all groups. Notice who's the face of unity, and notice who's the face of disunity. And so we have to be careful of those subliminal messages, those things that are not spoken, but they are very present, and they go into our subconscious. And so when we were little, we used to dream about being the Jackson Fives and the Supremes and all these groups. And the minister talks about the names of the groups that were in the, in the 70s and the 60s and stuff. And some of those names were very empowering. And then, the groups break up and then it's just the one person. And then think about some of the legal disputes with the contracts and things like that. And so all of that is part of what we taken in, and the desire to be affiliated with these people. And brothers spoke about how they would have to hold posts for some of the stars and stuff, and they're being put in a place of temptation. Now they're trying to do the work, but now here comes somebody walking by and they ain't got no clothes on, and so all of this is part of it. All this is part of it, and part of the reasons why the community now is so split on this thing that's happening with our entertainers, with the legal disputes and stuff, is because you got one side saying, "Oh, that's terrible. Look what happened to them and they victims." You got the other side saying they knew what they was doing when they went in that place, when they got in that arena or environment. And so modesty, balance, but like, just let's be real. There's certain things you shouldn't have to balance. Don't balance evil. You know what I mean? Like, we got to be careful with what we justify and saying, "Oh, I need to clear my mind," and then you put on something that's telling you to move B, get out the way, or something like that, instead of going to prayer. So we just really, really, really got to be careful in this day, because we are definitely under attack, and it comes from every angle. So just be aware of what you're consuming. That's it. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. That's good. That's a good point. I don't want to say but, so I'm trying to find another word. Nevertheless, maybe that may work. Maybe I shouldn't use that word. That ain't the right word. But, see, I can't use but. I'm going to just say, what I do is, when I'm listening,
However,
to some music, man, it may be a bad intentional song, but I change the intention of it. So if I'm hearing move, get out the way, I'm talking about my goals. Yeah, I'm talking about the obstacles in my way. I may not be talking about no woman or no human being. I'm talking about move, get out the way, get out the way. I'm talking about them devils. I'm talking about, some of them impediments that I may have. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, when I'm listening to a song like that, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right there, man. Some of them drug selling songs, them songs be lit, man. But I'm thinking about selling valuable products. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about pushing valuable products, So that's when I'm listening to music, because sometimes you may need that little motivation. They may be talking about sliding on a nigga, but I'm talking about sliding on my goals. I'm talking about sliding on my weaknesses. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about pulling up on my weaknesses. So that's how I interpret it, and look at it. It's all about how we look at it. So that's how I look at it right there. So for those who still gonna listen to it, maybe just look at it from that perspective, slide on the gin from within, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I be doing. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's how I be listening to it. Brother Anton, Brother Malik.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
It's a verse that we ran across, but in the verse it got a statement where it say, "And might or power or strength belongs to Allah and His messenger and the believers." So I just want to share, like, when I was growing up, I really didn't have no male figures around me to where I could get advice from a man's perspective. I was raised by my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my mom. And the little dudes they dealt with in and out was boo boo. So I really couldn't trust their guidance or look at them as an example. So a lot of the voices in my head was coming from Ice Cube, NWA, a lot of rap groups. So I know for me, in order to push out all the negative ideas that I picked up from listening to rap, I had to basically, I didn't step away from listening to it, but I had to realize the influence that it had on me. And now I'm in the process of trying to make a positive change and break away from the negative. So I would take beats that I like from, these songs, that was still in my head. I would take the instrumentals and then lay on top of the instrumentals speeches from the minister, to where I'm grooving to the beat, but I'm replacing the words with positive words. And that helps out. But it's up to each of us to know ourselves and know our weaknesses, know what will move us and what still has a strong influence on us. Like, if you know that you come from a certain lifestyle and then you're trying to change, and you get to listening to some Lil Baby or some Roddy Ricch or whoever, and it's going to kind of have a pull on you to behave negatively or want to carry out some things that you used to be inclined to doing, then you might want to, step away from it till you get stronger. It's almost like, I say music is something like food, Allah tell us what to eat, what's lawful and what's unlawful. So, if you know that some of this music gonna take you there, then, break away from it till you get stronger. But I know also that Allah raising us up in a society that has all those pressures and all those negatives. So if we not strong enough to handle the pressure, then how we really gonna grow? It's like we reading this Quran. Reading this Quran is like stretching, and shadow boxing. But the real fight, the real struggle is when you have to live with this Quran is saying, on top of dealing with all the pressures and the pulls that's out there in society. Like, one example, we in a society where, the women walking around half naked. So what? Just because they half naked, you weak? You can't handle being in the middle of this without it pulling you and making you want to, go do something that you shouldn't be doing, or making you want to get involved with a female just because you see her cheeks hanging out or you see different private parts showing. So Allah is all wise, and you can't get stronger without pressure. You can't lay on the bench and you don't got no weights on the bar. You just pushing up a bar with no weights on it. But as the pressure on the bar, it make you stronger, and you go stronger and stronger and stronger. So Allah know what he doing, and having us come up in the belly of this beast right here, where we confronted with everything. But as long as we believers and we keep to our duty, and like Brother Ben was just saying, that he'll make easy our affairs. He'll make it easy for us, and he'll wipe away our evil, to where we'll be going through things and going through tests, but the test is to confirm in us that, wow, I'm really changed, or I'm really different. I really, a year ago would have responded to that situation like this. But that situation came along and I responded in a manner that's in line with what I say I believe in. So as long as we keep on pushing, remember Allah, pray, and keep this spirit, the spirit of Ramadan. You know, a lot of people be like, some people is Ramadan Muslims. They only want to do all their prayers. They only want to read their Quran when it's Ramadan. But this is an opportunity for us to take this spirit, this mindset, the mindset of restraint, because that's what it is. You restraining yourself from getting mad. You restraining yourself from cussing. You restraining yourself from all this stuff during this month. But we got to take it beyond this month. We got to keep on fasting. We may not be fasting no more from food, but like the minister said, that this month is more than just abstaining from food. And if we keep that in mind and carry that beyond this month and carry that with us day to day, I'm fasting. What you fasting from? I'm fasting from all the BS. I'm fasting from all the negatives. I'm fasting from all the things that I know don't please Allah. And one last point. It's like if you've been dumping trash and mud into your body, if you've been dumping garbage into your body all your life, you've been filling your head up with negative words, then you have to, in the process of changing, you have to do a reversal. And as you was dumping negative lyrics and negative thoughts and negative things into you, in your process of change, you have to cut off dumping the negative into you and dump the positive in you so that the positive could overtake and push all that negative out. It's almost like some brother Ben showed on the power call one day where he took a glass of water, but it was cloudy, and he kept dumping pure water into it. And that made the water that was cloudy eventually clear up. And it's the same thing with our mind. Though it's filled with negativity from all the stuff we've been feeding it throughout our life, and we trying to change, we got to start to dump that positive in there so it could filter it all out and push it out. And then we be more filled with positive thoughts. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, we're going to close at 8:30 so the believers can get ready for Sunday. Get to that mosque, get ready. All right, let's go to Sister Diabra. All right, Sister Diabra. Let's go to Brother Michael.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum. You brothers and sisters are something else. The young brothers and us fossils and sisters. I appreciate you. I truly appreciate you. It's refreshing to be amongst a community of believers with your spirit, with your insights, with your transparency. It's almost uncanny when it's something that you've been away from for a while. So many of the insights and testimonies that have been given, you touched on what I wanted to say. You touched on the takeaways that I got. Is crazy. It's the radio in the head is real. And like the brother was just saying, it's just the spirit that you want to carry, not just during the month of Ramadan, but throughout the course of your life. That's the goal. That's putting on part of that full armor. So what can I say? Brother Anthony Muhammad touched on it. He touched on it at length. Brother Remus then touched on it. The sister then touched on it. It's like you people are something else. But one of the takeaways that the young brother spoke on when it comes to oaths and our obligations and commitments to one another. In my studies in the past 19 years, I've been studying this thing called commercial redemption. And how I weigh everything that I study or come across is I measure it against the teachings. And, you know, during the Malcolm era, there were no study guides, people. Them brothers and sisters didn't have the elaboration that the minister had committed himself to. This man didn't put in some work that really can't be quantified, because the study guides break down aspects, insights that you would not have unless you experience, and that he took the time to write this down, and that the helpers took the time with their contributions to make these study packets. It's invaluable. It's invaluable. And so one of the takeaways that I want to speak to directly is this: it's a notion in the legal community called the prayer of Cold Nighter. And this prayer of Cold Nighter is a prayer that's taken by Jewish Zionist judges, legislators, and magistrates. And it's supposed to absolve them of their oaths. And I'm just thinking, how could you, what exists that can absolve you of your oath? And therein is the making of a devil, trying to make wrongdoing fair seeming. The fact that there is such a thing that you can take an oath in one regard, but think that because this happened or that happened, you can go and do something else to absolve you of your initial oath, just means that you filled with the mind of the devil. And in closing, the way to purification, one of the lectures I was just listening to of the minister, is the purification of the heart, and the process that everything has a process that you want to be successful at. There is no thing that doesn't have a process to it. That's the science of things. Is the way to purification of the heart is prayer. It's fasting, but it's sincere prayer. And it's fasting. And because what's done in the dark comes to the light, so to speak, type of saying. Well, in the reading of the Quran, it's so elaborate and so descriptive. It's mind-boggling. I haven't read the Quran front to back in years, to be honest. This is the first Ramadan that I've observed completely for a while.
Praise.
And to be reminded of some of the things that's being said verbatim, verbally, I mean, expressly. It leaves no room for misinterpretation, no room for doubt or conjecture. It's telling you, and it's descriptive, and it's giving illustrations. And it's like, man, listen, if you don't latch a hold to this with everything in you, you want to die, and you want to have a miserable existence. And that's what's going to happen. And so in closing, I just want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for sharing, for being a part of this community, and for your impactful insights. It made a difference for me. So thank you, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I just read Sister Ebony said she got skipped. Seek refuge in Allah, sister. Seek refuge in Allah. We're going to go to Brother Derek. No, I'm just playing. Sister Ebony.
Oh my God. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so I really thought you guys shadow banned me there for a second. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get to speak. That's all right. But anyways, so Sister Shireen, I feel like, and the other sister's name, the happy sister. She they kind of touched on what I was gonna say, but I was gonna say the brother that originally asked the question, right? Like, I don't know the brother, but he sounded young or new to the teachings, right? So I know that, Brother Ben X, you could say, well, I just listen to the music and I turn it around, or I change it to, another word. Or King Cam can say, well, I can listen to the trap music and, I'm strong enough for it not to, get to me. Like, not everybody is that, not everybody has that self-awareness or that level of, I guess, spiritual maturity to be able to, put that line in the sand. So I think, when younger people, like, you know what I mean? I don't mean it like in a condescending way, but when they come and ask us these questions, we have to be aware of their level, right? Because they're babies. We can't give them steak, right? Also, too, that clip, I don't know, like, I have to watch that again, but I don't feel like I think that was an inaccurate comparison. I feel like that's like comparing apples to oranges, because when you're in a circumstance that you can't control and you're in a negative environment or, experiencing certain things, you don't have control over that. So I think what the minister was saying there was that, you know, you don't have control of what goes in, but you have control of what goes out. And I think that was the gist of what he was saying. And again, I'll watch it again just to make sure. I might be wrong, but that's what I took from that, right? And I think we all have to you know, have discernment in all of the things that we consume, because, you know, yeah, even in how to eat to live, the messenger says, well, you know, if you're practicing how to eat to live and you don't find that it's working, then check your thoughts. What are you thinking, right? It's the same thing with the music that we consume. It's the same thing with, you know, the entertainment, movies, video, whatever that we consume. It's in us, and sometimes we don't understand how it is in us, right? And especially for us with the teachings, we understand what it is to you know, drop a seed and for that seed to germinate down the line. So we could be listening to music and we might not even be so aware of the seeds that are being dropped. Yeah, we might be able to say, okay, well, it didn't affect me right now in this certain way. I don't feel negative right now, but we don't know what down the line is going to be the water and the sun that's gonna you know, fertilize that seed. And I feel like it's not a thing about like being holier than thou or self-righteous or anything like that. But if we're on self-development and we're on becoming gods, we have to elevate. Our minds have to elevate. Our spirit has to elevate. So naturally, even like Sister Biana was saying, like, you sometimes you listen to old songs and it's like, man, it just doesn't even hit the same anymore. It doesn't even sound the same anymore because you've elevated, because you've, you know, advanced from that. So I just want to say that, and even what Sister Shireen said about the spiritual warfare, like, it's very real. And we have to understand, like, everything is energy. Everything is energy. And this music, like, there's frequencies, like you can even listen to, like, there's different hertz frequencies that are healing frequencies. Some evoke love, some evoke you know, removal of anxiety, some evoke different things. And don't think that these scientists are not using these same hertz, these same frequencies in the music. Like, for example, Chicago music and the state of Chicago. That there's no such thing as coincidence, right? Like this like trap music, there's no such thing as coincidence as to why, you know, this music is put into our communities and we're doing these types of things and reacting to these types of things. You know what I mean? So we have to be like, you know, our general orders are always in effect. Like, we have to be on the alert. We have to be aware of what's going on, and we have to be mindful of, you know, what we consume. And, you know, I understand the whole aspect of, like, having connection to our people and being able to touch the people and, you know, get in the mud with the people. I get that. But there's like I said, there's a thin line, right? And even the minister has uplifted rappers before and shouted them out and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't know the minister personally, but I don't think that he is listening to some of this music leisurely, just at home, just for fun. You know what I mean? Just, you know, for fun. And yeah, you know, J. Cole's album, let me just say too, like, I'm a hip hop head. I love hip hop. Like, I truly, in my heart, like, I love hip hop. Like, J. Cole's album is fire. And he made many references, even apart from the Farrakhan reference, he made many references to me that if I'm hearing right, like, about the nation and the teachings and everything. And even as I was listening, some of the things I'm just like, man, like, I don't like, and it's Ramadan. I try not to even listen to this stuff. I'm like, man, I need to just, like, listen and then move on. You know what I mean? To not be so, like, engulfed in it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. We just need to be mindful, you know what I mean? And especially to, like, as parents, I think when we listen to certain music, especially around our children, like, I don't know about you guys' children, but these children that we are trying to grow into gods, they are very, very supremely intelligent. And it's very easy for them to put two and two together. And sometimes my children will be like, and I try to listen to, you know, I try to listen to music that's not, like, you know, so bad, but even my children sometimes are like, yeah, like, why are you listening to this? This is swearing. This is too much. Like, you shouldn't be listening to this. You know what I mean? So yeah, just to be mindful. And yeah, Brother Bennett, your music is good. So that's all. That's pretty much all I have to say. Just be mindful and be alert to what we take in and what we're entertaining. Peace.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Ben X on all platforms if you want to go stream it. to Camelback or Veggieback, what she said, the minister also has said, when you feel uptight and stressed, prayer is the number one way to relieve your mind of stress. Soft music will aid as well. Soft music will aid as well. Y'all bear witness to that. Boy, it depends on what type of mood, depending on the type of mood you in, boy, you gotta have the right song to go with that mood, boy. Man, you gotta have that right song or it'll just heal you and console you with the right word, with the right beat, with the right tune to it. Man, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I listened to the other day. But let's go to Brother Darius.
Salam alaikum, brother. Can you hear me, brother?
We can hear you.
Thank you, brother. Sister Ebony stole my word, but my word was coincidence, and I was just thinking that the messenger said there's no such thing as coincidence. And last night, me and my wife was watching this documentary, Freaknik, and during that time, brother, I was heavy in the mosque. I was heavy trying to save my people. I was completely out the world. And so Freaknik was going on, but I was somewhat oblivious to it. And watching that documentary brought back a lot of memories. And my wife noticed when the documentary first came on, the music was different. The music was Public Enemy. It was Poor Righteous Teachers. The brothers was wearing African pieces, and the whole mood was different. The vibe was different. The temperature was different. And the music changed. It went from that to Two Live Crew. And of course, the temperature changed. And I mean, to the end of the documentary, it went from something that was somewhat positive to raping women. So, yeah, this music is extremely powerful. And I know there's no confession in Islam, but one of the things I wanted to accomplish in this Ramadan, yeah, brother, I was one of them uh, crazy cussing Muslims. So I wanted to get that baby talk out my language. So I said, man, I'm gonna stop saying N-word, I'm gonna stop cussing. You know, as the minister said, we'll use deceptive intelligence, rationalizing evil to make it fair seem. And I would tell myself, man, some people they don't understand nothing but a curse word. So, you know, to make that right in my mind, but even a couple weeks before Ramadan started, I started getting my language, that baby talk together. And, you know, we don't just cuss in the outside, our thoughts be cussing too. So I've noticed that change in me. Like going back to Freaknik, I'm 52 years old. I got married at 20. So when Freaknik was going on, I was taking care of family. Me and my wife been married 32 years. And so, like I said, I had nothing to do with that. But man, watching that documentary brought back a lot of memories, brought me back to where I was at during that time. And I wasn't in the world. Like, I wasn't in the world. And I'm not in the mosque right now. I'm not active in the mosque right now. And I'm making my way back to the mosque. And that's why I so desperately wanted to do this Ramadan, just to mentally get me back right, and wanted to change a lot of things. And man, I like this Ramadan has been incredible to me. But yeah, I mean, I love hip hop. I was riding in my truck last week. I was listening to Nas, and you know, I was hearing all those curse words, and you know where I'm at, I didn't even want to hear that. You know, I might relapse. So I turned it off. And I understand, you know, other people might not have that problem. Other brother, other sister don't have that problem. So you got to know where you at. You got to know what you need to do and what you need to refrain from to, you know, get you where you need to be. And you know, we all don't have the same trials, but yeah, it's crazy. I watched the documentary last night and then had that conversation with my queen about the music and how the music changed during Freaknik. And I mean, it went from something positive to the end of it. They were rape allegations and they were raping women. So, you know, yeah, music is powerful, brother. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Now, Sister Ebony may not like this, but when that brother said, "Man, I'm making my way back," hey man, this is what came to my head. Hold on, let me show y'all what came to my head. Now, I know this song ain't got nothing to do with that, but hey man, y'all remember this song?
Me back, telling me I need you in my life. Every time I try to call, something keeps telling me that
Everything gonna be alright.
every time I try to leave,
Something keeps pulling me back. See? That's what the power call is doing, family. It's pulling them back. Woo! It's pulling the brothers back. It's pulling the sisters back. Oh, I know sometime we may get off a little bit. Oh, sometime we may need to take a little break. But every time I try to leave, Sister Ebony, something keep pulling me back. See? That's why you got to have diversity in the music. See? Now, I know you probably want to put on that classical and you know what I mean? I like gospel now. Ain't nothing wrong with that gospel now. A good gospel song. But see, you got to know which song can go with what. See, you got to be versatile. You see? No, I'm just playing. Let's go to Sister Diabra.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. I just want to bear witness to the beauty of Allah, and I have a quick testimony. So I have many favorites in the Holy Quran, of which is Surah 59, 18 to 24. And it speaks of exhortation, which I have committed to memory. And it deals with keeping our duties to Allah and don't forget Allah. And it gives us Allah's attributes. He said, first of all, the beginning of the Quran, we ask Allah to guide us on the right path. And he immediately responds to us and tells us that this book there is no doubt in it. It's a guide to those who keep their duty, and of the hereafter we are sure. And then another point that I wanted to make that it also has Allah's. Well, wait a minute, I'm getting confused. I'm trying to read my notes and hurry up. Allah is so merciful and kind because in Surah 64, 16 through 18, I want to read that really quick because I don't know we got a time frame. So keep your duty to Allah as much as you can and hear and obey and spend. It is better for your souls, and whoever is saved from the greediness of his soul, these it is that are successful. If you set apart for Allah a goodly portion, he will double it for you and forgive you. And Allah is the multiplier of rewards for bearing the knower of the unseen and the mighty wise. Unseen, the mighty, and the wise. And the last part that I want to speak about is my testimony. Okay, so
It sounds like you're a little away from the phone.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Because I need to plug my phone up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. Give me a second. Okay, here I go. All right, so my last testimony, my last is the testimony. So I should have taken Denzel's Washington advice, which Brother John Muhammad told us about this morning. So yesterday, when he was saying that, I was just chuckling, because it brought back memories. So yesterday was my son's 32nd birthday anniversary, and I was over his house and I baked his cake, and we were all together, friends and stuff, and had fun. And later on, they went to the back room, and the door was closed, and I knew exactly what was going on, what was about to happen, right? So I was in the kitchen, and I tell you, oh my God, I got a contact high. I smelled it. It was so strong. And his bedroom is down the hallway and then to the right, right? And so I got a contact high. I was not even able to drive home. Because I live in Kentucky. He's in Indiana, right? And then I didn't want to go across that bridge, especially since we've been having trouble with bridges nowadays. So I'm still here right now, but I'm getting ready to leave. And when Brother John said that this morning, I just had to laugh because I experienced that last night. And now they're asleep now, so I can't wait to tell them later on this afternoon. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. That is hilarious. I can imagine you trying to drive across that bridge high, thinking about paranoid
no,
like
sir.
a bug.
That's too much water. And then my mind was going, I remember the sister in the Cisco truck that was here in Louisville, in our city and state. And then the other thing in Baltimore, there was no way. I just went and got in my bonus granddaughter's bed and went to sleep. And I'm getting ready to leave now.
Wow, praise be to Allah. Thank you all for sharing this morning. Just a reminder, www.thepowercall.net. Those of you all who are listening on Twitter, YouTube, come on inside the community family. Stop staying on the outside. www.thepowercall.net. And everybody who has created your profile thus far, please fill out those questions. Some of y'all not filling out your questions. Go ahead and fill out those answers. So yeah, now I've noticed something real quick. I noticed that we can't post videos like from our phone. It got to come from an actual link. So we might use the Telegram only for that part because I don't really like that aspect of it. We got to post like a YouTube link in order for it to show up like that. And I would like for it to just be uploaded. So we might use the Telegram only for that part. But I'll keep you guys updated. Other than that, go ahead and get in there, family. We got some resources. We got videos in there. People are already communicating. It's dope so far. So thank you all for listening and tuning in. Those of you all who are on the Zoom, we do have a quick holdback meeting. If y'all don't mind, it's going to be real quick. It ain't going to be long. Real quick, I want to announce something to you all. But everybody else, thank you all for listening. And I will see you guys, inshallah, tomorrow morning. Assalamu alaikum.